This is Grandma's Angels coming to you again. And remember last time I talked, I said I have a story to tell you. It is a very good story. It's a little hard to listen to in some parts, but you'll see why it's a good story at the end. Okay, so as you can see up here, I've got Joseph of Egypt. This was a real boy that lived many, many, many years ago. And he came from a family of 11 brothers, 12 sons altogether. He was the 11th son of the 12 sons. Now, his father, Jacob, he made Joseph his favorite son. Joseph was favored by his father. So that's where the story begins, okay? So here's some pictures I thought would be helpful to see that Joseph was favored by his father. He was the 11th of 12 sons. And the father, in showing his favoritism to his son, he made a coat of many colors. You may have heard that song by Dolly Parton. She made it very famous, but it is a beautiful coat, and in those days, this was highly favored. The 10 older brothers were jealous of Joseph because the father did favor him so much. But the father favored him because he was an obedient son. He did everything the father asked him to do. And so it was easy for the father to favor him and love him. Is it right? Probably not right, because it does hurt the siblings' feelings. But anyway, as the story goes, there are 11 stars here, as you can see, above Joseph. And then there's the sun and the moon. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But anyway, there's his coat of many colors because he was favored by his father. And his father gave him that as a gift. Now, Joseph, as a young boy, he tended to have dreams, and dreams that were a message from God. And so he was able to interpret dreams. This was a gift given to him. We all have gifts within us that we were born with when we came here to earth. But this was Joseph's particular gift. He could interpret dreams. Okay? So here again, we see 11 stars, the sun, and the moon. And here these are haystacks, but they're called sheaves. And there's 11 sheaves that are bowing down to the one in the middle. Now those 11 represent his brothers, and the one in the middle represents Joseph. Now you see the sun and the moon, who are also bowing in a sense to the sheave that's in the middle, the haystack or sheave that's in the middle. So with that, he told the family of his dream. And of course, the brothers already hated him because he was his father's favorite. What do you think this dream did to them when he told them the 11 sheaves are his brothers and the sun and the moon are his parents? And that's the representation of. Anyway, that they were bowing down to the one sheave that was standing straight up, which represented Joseph. Now, when he told that story, the brothers hated him even more. So this was not a good thing for Joseph. But he was so young, he didn't understand their hatred for him. He just knew he loved his father and he obeyed everything his father wanted him to do. And so that's the beginning of the story. Now, this picture is Jacob, the father, is telling Joseph. Now, in those days, to have a lot of animals, whether it's cattle or chickens or sheep or whatever, when they had a lot, that's their wealth in those days. The more animals you had, the wealthier you were. Now, the 10 older sons were sent way far away to herd the sheep in a field and make sure no coyotes or wolves or bears or anything ate any of the sheep, got a hold of them and ate them. So the 10 brothers had to stay there and watch them day and night. And so they were quite a ways away from home where the good grass is so the sheep could eat. So anyway, in this picture, Jacob is telling his son Joseph, go check on your older brothers and report back to me if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so Joseph, in his innocence, he says, yes, Father, I will go. So he did. He went to check up on his brothers. Now, from a distance, the brothers saw Joseph coming, okay, from a ways off. And they said, there comes our younger brother, favorite of their fathers. And they said, let's kill him. Let's just be done with it and kill him. Father will never know what happened to him. And the oldest son, Reuben, said, no, we cannot kill him. He's our brother and we're not going to shed his blood. But what they did do is they threw him down in a pit, like a deep water well with no water in it. It was dry, but it was deep, dark, cold, and scary. Well, they took Joseph and they threw him down there, and then they discussed what they were going to do with him. But Reuben, the oldest son, had the final say, and he said, no, we're not going to kill him. We'll do something with him to get rid of him, but we're not going to kill him, okay? So they saw a band of merchants coming down the road with their products that they sell, like spice and myrrh and frankincense and all these scented things. This is what they did, go from town to town, and they sell their seasonings and spices and things. And so the brothers saw them coming, and they said, let's sell Joseph as a slave to them, and we'll make some money out of it, and we'll never have to see him again. Well, they did. They sold Joseph. And these men here in the picture, they took Joseph away with a rope around his neck and made him walk. They went to Egypt to do their selling of their goods. Now, they sold Joseph too, okay? But now before I get to that part, they had to make up a story to take back to their father what happened to Joseph. They couldn't just all say, we don't know. So what they did do is they killed a goat and took Joseph's beautiful coat of many colors off of him, tore it up, and put some blood on it. Took that coat back to their father and said, we believe that this is Joseph's coat. Is it Joseph's coat, Father? And the father said, yes, it is. What happened? And they said, well, we don't know, but we just found his coat bloodied and tore up. And he said, a wild beast must have gotten a hold of him and eaten him or killed him. And so, the father was so sad, so very sad. And they tried to comfort him, and he would not be comforted. His wife and daughters tried to comfort him. He would not. He just threw up his arms and said, leave me alone, because in those days they tore their clothes to show how much pain they were in. They would rip their clothes. And so he was doing that. And then here's another picture of him. He's so sad, so very sad. This is his favorite son, the son in his old age. And he had so much hopes for this boy and everything, and now he's gone. And the father thinks he's gone forever. Okay? So after that, then back to when the merchants sold Joseph, they went to Egypt and they sold Joseph to Potiphar. Potiphar was the captain of the palace guards. That's a high position in those days, because he had watch over all of the guards that maintained safety for the king inside the palace. So he went and said that Potiphar seemed to like Joseph. As he got to know Joseph, he saw that Joseph was a young lad and very honest and truthful and humble. And so he took a liking to Joseph, and he said, I think you're a slave that I can trust. And he put Joseph in charge of his household. So when Potiphar traveled and had to do his work, he'd be gone a couple of days or a week or something like that. He says, I'm putting you in charge of my house and everything in my house to protect it and take care of it in my absence. And Joseph said yes, he would do that. So Joseph did. Well, then the day came, Potiphar was not home, the servants were not in the house, and just Joseph was in the house looking around, checking everything, and came upon Potiphar's wife. Now, Potiphar's wife thought, oh, you're a very good-looking slave. I want to go to bed with you. And so Joseph, being the honest boy that he was, he said, no, I will not sleep with you. I Potiphar trusts me and put me in charge of the house. I will not betray my master like this. So he said, no, I will not do this thing. It's a sin and it's wrong. And you are Potiphar's wife. Anyway, so she really tried to get him to do what she wanted to do. Well, then she made up a lie. She screamed and everything and said, he tried to rape me. See, I've got a piece of his loincloth. He tried to rape me. He needs to go to jail. Anyway, when Potiphar came home, the servants and the wife told him the dishonesty that Joseph did, that he tried to rape his wife, which we know he didn't. He ran away from her, as a matter of fact, so that he would not do this wrong thing. So Potiphar had to believe his wife, though, because that was his wife. And in her honor, he threw Joseph in jail, in a prison. So now Joseph's in prison, and he was in there for quite a while. And I think I'll stop the story right there. I will tell you the ending of the story tomorrow, because it's pretty long, but I want you to understand. Did Joseph deserve these things happening upon him? No. He was an innocent boy that was just trying to obey his father. But his brothers were very jealous. The wife wanted him to do something to betray his master, Potiphar. And just one thing after another seemed to be not going well for Joseph. So anyway, that's the first half of the story. So tomorrow I'm going to finish the story and tell you what happened to Joseph. Now, he was in jail there for a while, and he was not treated well at all. Not in the beginning, anyway. So I will leave the story there, and I will see you tomorrow. Children, please remember to be kind to others and be your best you, okay? And I will see you again tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.